All right, so I think we talked about Jody the other day in terms of her background. I'll just make it short and sweet. 7 million visitors a year is an awful lot of traffic to one's website. Would you agree?
Yes.
How much better would you be doing today if you had 7 million visitors going to your website this year?
Yes.
Yeah? Some of those dreams would be coming true pretty quickly.
I'd be in Rio.
What would you... Yeah. So... And for those of you in like financial services, right? Fact is, you have someone that's on TV that's a financial advisor, and that's in the media and the news, and then you have to go head-to-head with that individual. The odds of winning the account are like slim and none, because Slim left town, even if you had the relationship, because you're on the TV and the radio and the credibility. So all I'm saying is this can be a competitive differentiator for most of you, and she's going to show you how to do it so simple and easy. So I've known Jody for a number of years. Her partner in crime, Declan Dunn, one of the smartest online marketers in the world, just amazing. So Jody, like I said, is mega connected and has done stuff with Usher and Quincy Jones, and we talked about all that stuff yesterday. And because of her, I got invited to the director of the Titanic, James Cameron's, which would have never happened without Jody. So I'm just saying, let's give her a big standing O. Let's give her some love.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, have some fun. Thanks.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, everybody. They brought up a little card. Everybody should have one, a little white card. Yeah, and then you have a little handout from me as well. On the card, I want anybody that wants to audition today to win a free $5,000 package, write your name on the card. Since we have, did you get a little white card? Whoever doesn't have a card, please raise your hand. We'll make sure you guys all have one. What we're going to do is, because we have a large group of people, and if you guys want to eat lunch today sometime, I'm going to pick 6 people, okay? 6 people. We're going to do the power of 6 like Ken says. So we're going to pick 6 people. Just put your name on the card, okay? And then we're going to pick those names out of a hat. We're just going to pick those 6 names. And no, just write your name. And I'm going to pick 6 people. And then I'm going to pick some judges to stand behind them, because you guys are going to come up here and audition. The judges are going to stand behind to hear the applause from the rest of the audience, okay? So, but this is a $5,000 package. It's creating a TV or radio show for you, put it in a network to syndicate it out to cell phones, cars, TV. And this is training, workshops, everything is involved, so you win a whole package. So, whoever's interested, put your name on the card. We'll pick those up. And then the flyer that you have, that's to follow along. And we'll be talking about certain things, and see if you can fill in the blank spaces as I'm talking. Okay, so there's some things I'll be talking about. So this helps you kind of follow the presentation and have an idea because it helps you learn too. Because if you're actually engaged and you're writing and you're listening for certain things, then it helps you remember items. Instead, a lot of times our brains we only remember a small portion of things as we hear it, because we're receiving so much information all the time. And that's the way it is on the internet too. I mean, look at all the information that's coming at us. So I'm going to show you, when you put that information out, how to put it to people in segments that is like little bites to let them know who you are, what you're doing, want to know more about you, okay? Instead of trying to just lay everything on their lap. It's like going to dinner. You give them an appetizer, and then you give them the dinner afterwards. So we're going to show you all that. So do we have all the cards yet? Okay. While he's doing that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know that much about me, my face looks really funny on that picture. I have been working in the internet since 1995. I did one of the first online art galleries. I was working with Bill Gates people. And at that time, I had an offline art gallery. I was an artist. I painted murals in Hawaii. I also was a general manager of an acting school. So I helped kids and adults learn how to work in front of cameras. And then I was an executive at a radio station. And I ended up being like a manager of artists and a manager of actors. And I always had this role as like, I was an actress, and then I was also an artist, and I always had all these actors and artists always coming to me saying, will you help me do what you did? So I ended up managing a lot of people. And then when I was working in the internet, And my partner, Declan Dunn, who wrote the first books on affiliate marketing, we met each other in '95, and we were both doing it the internet, which was that was a rare occasion to meet somebody else doing the internet at that time. So we went into business together and had an agency, and we helped our American Express, Priceline, Travelocity, ABC, PBS, all these companies get onto the internet. Okay? So the training packages that we have is the same training that we did with American Express to help them with their affiliate marketing. So part of what the person's going to win today is a full training package that what American Express received to help them with their whole affiliate marketing, email marketing, joint ventures, everything. Okay? So I'm going to... Thank you. See if I get this to work. There. This is FMG TV. I have big name stars because when you have a community of people, when you have the big names, it helps the people that don't have a name get attention too. So I have Hillary Duff, I have Quincy Jones, I have Usher, I have quite a few people in the network, and then I help people, average everyday people, writers, authors, speakers, people that have a passion, a cause, that want to get their message out, help them develop a TV, radio show, and get it out, because if you can have the greatest thing in the world, but if somebody doesn't know you exist, then nobody sees you, nothing happens with it. So we want to make sure that you are seen and heard. Okay, so we have channels, all different kinds of channels. We're adding them. I have a My Cause channel. I work with a lot of nonprofits too. I work with Nelson Mandela and Richard Branson, and Make the Difference Network with Jessica Biel. So we have a fitness channel, green channel, business, education. Everybody has something special to share. And so we create this. And what it is it's like an NBC or CBS online. So I'm creating a TV radio network, and I look at it kind of like a United Artists. I'm looking for talent. I train them to do it professionally and then put their content out. And if they don't succeed, my network doesn't succeed. Have you ever seen like NBC in an episode that flops? They throw it off. You know, you needed those people to do well. So it's really important to us. We have HD video. So it's when you use a camera, I'll show you some things they got some cool stuff now. These are little HD cameras. These things are around about $800 now, and they have a little hard drive inside. And these right here, what it is you have an image sensory outside the camera that gives you the 3 different colors that come in. Like if you have the cheaper cameras, they have one color. When you have red, blue, green. These are like the $100,000 cameras they used to have 5 years ago when they used to do episodes of Friends. Those cameras were like $100,000. You can do the same thing with the $800 camera now. So we're advancing, and we can do that professional video. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more stuff about that. Okay, we have the radio. So you don't have to do TV, you can do radio. I have people, I show them how to use the microphones, how to talk. You can do your radio segments. You can get those out. As long as you have something that you can interact with your audience. They hear your voice, they see your face. Because what's happening is we used to use text in the 90s a lot, and that worked. We used to put up a page and say, okay, here's our product, we're going to sell this. No name, nobody knew who it was, and the product sold. Now people are like, well, who are you? Is this a scam? And I don't want to talk to you. I want to find out who this person is, who's behind the curtain, right? So with audio and video, your audience gets to know who you are and whether or not they want to do business with you. So this is something that's really important. You need to have something, even if you start off with audio first, something on your pages that's going to interact with your audience where they can feel like they can bond to you. There's a great line that says, people will forget what you say and they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget the way you make them feel. And so what you're doing is you're creating emotion. And you need that emotion. If you want to survive in business, you're going to have to create that emotion. You're going to have to build those relationships because it's all about relationships now. And this is the way it is. And if a lot of businesses are trying to stay the way they were previously and use all this new technology and all this social media, and they don't change their concepts and how they do their business, they're not succeeding. And that's why you have to adapt with it. Okay. We do the TV, they got the radio station, so they have the audio that's able to be downloaded and be sent to the sites. It's automatically interconnected with all the social media and the RSS feeds. So when I started off, I thought I had this great idea because when podcasting first came about, I thought this is it, in the early 2000s, and I taught myself how to write RSS code. And then I tried to get somebody to develop this platform that I had seen, and it was like, I don't get that, So I developed this whole thing. I taught myself how to code, how to program. I developed it all. I did the graphic arts. I did everything. and I created it. Okay, it's like my partner Declan Dunn's really well known in this industry. He was on the stage while I stayed in the background for many years, and we go to places and they'll go, "Oh, Declan, how did you do this and how you do that?" He goes, "I don't know, ask her." And they don't. They always look at me like, "Oh, don't you just take notes?" And it's like, "No, I did it." So things are changing, you know. So yeah. Woo! Yes. So it's like a lot of times I go to places and I'm like the only woman speaking, but I'm starting to see more and more women get out there, and that's a good thing because men want to learn from women, you know, just the same as women want to learn from women. So we're finding that balance, which is a really good thing. What we do in our workshops, when we do a 3-day workshop, I teach and Declan teaches. So it's both of us. So we get that yin and yang. So we get the male and female perspective in marketing, which really helps you in your business. Okay. We have, it was funny because Ken was talking about this yesterday, you know, have fun, make money, do good, and that's our motto. And so, thank you, Ken. So, the motto actually came from a gentleman and out of Africa. He was one of the top guys at HP, and it was a nonprofit that he was doing, putting in internet hubs within impoverished areas, and he was closing it down, and I said, "What are you going to do with your motto?" And this was like in 2000. And he said, "Well, because if you promise me that you'll do good with it, I'll give it to you." And I said, "I promise." So he gave it to me. So I have that motto for my company. And it's one of the things we do. It's like I would have done it anyway, but we have a lot of the things we do with nonprofits. We're kind of like a social business. We are a social business because a percentage of everything that comes into our business goes back to help somebody in need to get their message out. So it just kind of cycles through. Our network is reaching Dr. Phil, CNN, Yahoo, Women's Day, Entrepreneur Magazine, so we're getting a lot of attention there. I got some other things at big networks that are contacting us because I went to a network breakfast with NBC and CBS, and it was all guys in suits, right? And so I was like the only woman, and they're talking about how now they got to take the video, they got to get it out, they got to do these short segments, and they're going to move into the longer segments. And I was sitting at the table, and my friend that invited me, he's going, "She's been doing that for 4 years." And they're like, it was funny because I actually saw this years ago, so I built it. The hardest thing to do, though, is when you go out, when something's brand new to try to teach somebody, you have to educate them first because they can't see it. But people are seeing it now. Video is here. And as like I've been telling people for years, this is the early stages, and you need to get in here before that door shuts because a lot of money is coming to this space, a lot of money. Remember when in the early days in the 90s, we had GeoCities, all the free sites, all these different places that you could join for free, and then all of a sudden, the website started costing $100,000. You guys remember that? It got to the point where it was really expensive. All the money came in. Same thing's starting to happen now with video. When YouTube was bought by Google, it was bought for $1.65 billion. And their idea was, we're going to take all this video, and we're going to put advertisers around it. We're going to make our money back easy. And so it's all user-generated content. But you have the top marketers and advertisers. The advertising industry, they have a certain criteria that they have to follow. They'll say, well, is there nudity? Is there obscenity? They're like, well, we'd have to watch all that. And there's a lot of video. We can't watch it all. So what's happening is there's only like 4% of their videos that they actually are getting advertising off of the dollars because of the fact that it's all user-generated. So they're creating HD video channels, and they're starting to monitor their video. You're going to start seeing that more and more. People are monitoring. So that's why I created a network where I know what the content is, so I can go to sponsors and advertisers and say, this is exactly what we have, and I do a 50-50 revenue split with people in my network. If I get the sponsors and advertisers, if they get their own, it's 100%, it's theirs. So it makes it easier to make things work and move forward. Everything in social media and social networking, a lot of people is like talking to everybody, connecting, but they don't know how to make money with it. And there's ways to make money. I'm going to show you some things, okay? So as we move forward, I'm going to show you how first to establish yourself as an expert. One of the things we always say, it's who you know. It's turning now is like, who knows you? Who knows you? Because if somebody knows you, that battle's gone because they just walk right up to you, right? So you need to get yourself out there, get established as an expert. There's a lot Oren had said some things about, put yourself as an expert on everything you do because a lot of the media look at that. Also, what people don't realize is local media. Local media love this kind of stuff. Video is hot. Radio shows, TV shows online because it's innovative. You can put press releases to your local papers, your local magazines, and they'll feature you. I have my people in my network get featured all the time locally. And then what happens is, like people like Oprah, and her publicists that go out and look for people for a network, they get like 14, 15,000 emails a day. They don't have time to sort through all those. They go through the internet and they look at shows. They look at the local media papers to find out what's happening locally and who's hit the spotlight locally, and that's where they pick a lot of people for their shows. So don't disregard the local media. It's really important, okay? All right, so show me the money. There's another Jerry Maguire moment. So we're going to show you the money, how to make money with social media, how to make money with audio and video, and how to do it effectively without taking a lot of time. We have this thing called the 7-hour miracle. 7 hours a month, being able to schedule your show out, produce your show, have all your stuff developed and uploaded into a platform and ready to go, so you're only spending 7 hours a month. And it's running automatically on the back end without you having to touch it. And then the have fun, make money, do good, which to me, have fun, make money, do good means if you're not doing what you're passionate about, what you love doing, you're not having fun, then you won't keep doing it because you get tired. It's like going to sitting in a job in front of within a cubicle. After a while, it's like, I just can't stand this anymore. But if you're going to develop something for yourself, do something that you love doing. And then making money. If you don't make money, it's a hobby, and you got to go get a job to make sure you can do your hobby, right? So you have to make something sustainable for yourself. And then to do good. And do good could mean different things. It could be being with your family, doing things for other people. When you have money, you have a choice. You have a choice what you want to do with your life. I think that's one of the best things about money is the choices that we have. We can help other people. We can help our families. So money is not a bad thing. Sometimes we get that in our heads, like, money's not good. So if you change that in your minds, people start coming to you. Okay, so how it started off being an expert at the time, because I did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, nobody knew who I was. And there was a women's conference called WITty, Women in Technology. And I wrote my own podcast code, and I said, you guys are doing a women's event. I'll interview every one of your speakers, and then for my show, I'll podcast it. I'll put it out throughout all the internet, to radio stations, to cell phones, iPods. They're like, yeah, we love that. So I did these interviews. I broadcasted it out. I went to this event, and I walked in the door, and everybody goes, are you Jody Colvard? Because they all knew who I was because I had a show. It gives you instant credibility. You put your name out there, you're somebody, and then I've been able to get through a lot of gatekeepers and businesses because they know I have a program. I have a value to them. I can help them. Because look how much people pay for PR. If they're paying $10,000 a month, and I'm saying for free, I'll interview you, and I'll get your content out through anywhere you want. And they're like, yes. Okay, so it's really easy to get indoors. I interviewed Elvira for Halloween, and I worked with Fox Reality TV doing a special. So I interviewed Elvira, and it was Cassandra Peterson is her real name because my birthday's on Halloween, so she's always been like somebody I really admired. So I had done. Now I can call people. That's the same person. That's what she looks like. So I can call people and say, I have a radio show or I have a TV show, and it's really easy to get in the door. A lot of people pay thousands of dollars a month to get on a TV show. Create your own and then get the publicity for yourself instead of trying to get on everybody else's. It's like, stay on top instead of trying to get in somebody else's door, so you can create your own house. Then I created Women in Podcasting, which is one of the top online directories for women's shows on the internet. That was in 2005, and now I've merged it. I'm launching a new online women's magazine with the podcast directory, and then also a men's magazine because I had a lot of men complain to me. I say, we want one too. So I have a new men's magazine coming out as well, so it will feature, and then we cross-promote between the two of them. What we're talking about is becoming an expert in the field. I was invited to China. I was the first woman to teach podcasting in China, and I was on a TV show there in front of 200 million people. So now I got a lot of business in China. I made $35,000 the first month after I launched my first podcast. Okay, so it gave me instant credibility. I got invited to go places. I was an expert. Okay, so you can create an expert in what field that you want to create around yourself. And then a lot of people are looking at the economy, and you want to get in places outside the U.S. There's 476 million people on the internet in Asia Pacific, and I get a lot of business in that area because of my contacts in China. So it's opened up a lot of doors. So you want to open those doors for yourself. You want to be known. We're going to play a little game now. This is a media timeline. So we see how things are changing in business. I mean, in the way we receive information, because things have changed so quickly in the last few years that now it's in our lap and we're having to adapt so quickly. And so I want to show you, we're going to play this little game. Who remembers the very first television? When was it created? Before.
48.
1927. Yeah, of Philo Farnsworth. He made the very first TV in 1927. It showed at the World's Fair. It wasn't until 1939 that anyone had it in their home. So it took 12 years to anybody even had it in their home after it was presented. The very first thing that was flashing on the screen? A dollar sign. Okay? And so it wasn't until the 50s until the majority of people really had a TV in their home because it was something that was really expensive. Now you used to look how long it took to get that to everybody's everyday life, right? Now it looks like people have one in every room now. Okay, record player. You guys remember record players? We all had record players, and I still have record. My son came over and got all my albums, and I bought him one of those record players that has a little USB that you can make it into MP3s. And he took all my Aerosmith and Rolling Stone, and he took all my music and he made them into MP3s. It's like, these kids don't have any music of their own. They listen to all of ours. It's like, he goes, you have Rolling Stones, you have Aerosmith. So, anybody have a guess on this? The first one was this. Yeah.
1840.
Close. 1877. Okay, now look how long records stayed in our life. 1877, 1977. It's like some people still have records. I mean, 45s came out. That was a long time that we had this type of information for us. Okay, who remembers these big old babies? My first car I ever had an 8-track player. I was so proud. I had this great big box and I had eight tracks with like 10 songs, so 80 songs, and I'd carry this thing in my car. And now it's like I have 1,000 songs on my iPod. And what was really the epiphany for me was I was jogging through the park, and this was like 2002. And I'm jogging through the park, and I had an iPod, and I was listening to my music, and this guy's jogging past me, and he had a CD player, and he had his headphone, and he's jogging, and he's holding this thing like this. And I said, wow. He was like, look I have 1,000. He's got like 12 songs, and he's just like bouncing all over. So it's like, I realized that it's like, that's going away. That's going away. So this is moving really quickly. So who knows when these first came out?
Is that a 4-track or
8-track.
67.
That's close.
62.
1964. Okay. All right, who remembers these? We moved from the 8-track to cassettes. All right, and with the cassettes, now this is going to surprise you. Same year. They were created for dictation, and after they're carrying these big old honking 8-tracks around, they go, why are we using those and not these? And so they moved over to cassettes. And we still have cassettes. Some people still have cassettes in their car, right? So those stayed, 1964. That's a long time to have that type of information process that we have. Okay, CDs.
no.
70s.
82. You're the winner. 1982, Billy Joel's 52nd Street was released in Japan. And that was, so that's a long time ago, 1982, that we still are using CDs. Now you think about your business. If somebody bought a package from you and you send them an 8-track, what are they going to think about you? So what you're going to have to do is you start looking at how things are evolving, and you're going to have to move into this digital world because it's not going to wait for you. And so your content is going to be digital, whether you like it or not. You look in 1997, or just 2007, 75% of all the cars that came out had embedded iPod players or MP3 players in the car. In 2008, it's like 99%. I mean, most of the cars are like a standard feature. They have some way that you can connect your MP3 or iPod. So it is here. And they're phasing out all this other stuff. It's not, you'll still have access. You'll still be able to listen or watch on your old stuff. But MP3s, digital content is here, and this is how we're going to receive our information. This is how you're going to give information. So it's important that you're doing this. Okay, in 2003, Apple created iTunes. By February 2006, they had 1 billion downloads. So we're looking at, I was showing you the duration of time it took for things to come into our life, and then all of a sudden, here comes digital media. And what happens is like in a short period of time, boom, everything just changes so quickly. That shows you how rich this is, how this is something that you need to be doing. Okay? iTunes has over 44 million viewers. That's just one directory. There's like 60 directories online. You get your content out there. It's like seeding yourself. Your little Johnny Appleseed out there seeding your content all over the internet. And you have people driving back to your site. You're going to create, it's a lead generator. You're going to get people out there. You do a call to action. You drive them back to a page. But you have to have a home. It's like going out there giving invitations to a party and they have nowhere to come party at. You need to have a home to bring people back to. Okay, so, and it's like the things that are happening with websites, websites are static pages. And I'm going to show you some things on that, but it's something that when you go, it was Web 1.0, what we did in the 90s. When people came there, the information didn't change. The search engines came whenever you changed it. So maybe once a year, once every 6 months, if you're lucky, they'd come over. Now we have blogs. We have all this new ways that our content is consistent. All this new content is coming out on a regular basis. So the search engines come every time you post something. That gives you more visibility. You seed yourself all over the internet, you drive them back to you. But you have to have that home to bring them to. Okay, eMarketer estimates it will be 285 increase in size of the US podcast audience in 2007. And there was a growth of over 18.5 million. So people are adapting. They're starting to listen to this content. It's getting easier because in the early days, they used to have, okay, use this RSS feed to subscribe to the content. And people would open it and it'd be a full page of code and they'd freak out and they'd shut the page and then they would leave, right? So you want to make sure that as things progress, they make it simpler. The simpler things become, the more it absorbs into our daily life. Okay, YouTube. YouTube's a craze, and I have my content on YouTube. You should have your content on YouTube, on Rever, on Veo, on Vimeo, on 5 Minute, on MetaCafe. There's lots of different video services out there. That is where you seed yourself. But if you just have your video in these services and you don't have a place, if you want to be seen seriously, you have to have a brand that's around yourself, your own domain, your own page. There's a lot of services. There's like blog, talk radio. There's quite a few online right now that will let you be part of something, and you don't really have your own domain. It's like blog, talk radio / whatever. There's quite a few of those. A lot of the sponsors and advertisers, they want you to have your own brand, your own domain, your own show page, and then they look at you seriously. Okay? If you want to just get your content out, you can do it for free all over the place. But things are changing. Money's moving into this place, into this space, and you're going to be buried amongst all these other people. If you want to stand out, you really have to do, what was it, that wow factor. You know, you have to be amazing, like Oren said, because you will just be buried amongst everybody else. Okay, there's Veo. It's another service. Right now, they're saying that the convergence between television and internet is here. So NBC, CBS, all the networks are moving all their content into the internet. It's becoming the main distribution channel. This will be able to be sent out to mobile devices, to TV, to cars. I download my videos. I watch it right on my TV. It goes from my computer right to my television set, and I watch it. Now, this is how everything is moving. Right now, they have like TiVo. Who has TiVo in here? Okay. You have a little black box. It has a little number on that box. They're setting up sites where you can take a little number off the box, insert it into the website, and automatically sends that video to your TV set. They're starting to put a Google search in your television. So you can have on your TV say, okay, I'm looking for something on cooking, and it will search the internet for videos on cooking and pull it onto your television. Do you want to be part of that? Yes. Because that is the future. That is happening right now, but people keep telling me, it's like, well, let me create a website, and then I'll look at doing this. It's like, you're like doing 10 years ago, and then it's like you're spending money and creating something that it's already being passed by. So to be innovative, to be on top of things, to be cutting edge is how you succeed. Because the people that get there first are usually the ones that make the money, right? Okay, so creating a professional show, we have the full-blown convergence. And also they're saying that instead of having all these home movies everybody's been doing, they've been doing these little home clips, little things that they would show to their families, you know. They had them on YouTube and all these video services. They're wanting quality content now. If it's going to be on television, are they going to watch YouTube videos on their TV? You know, so one of the things that we're finding, like with these HD cameras, is you can do high quality video with a little bit of effort without spending a lot of time if you have a system. And I've been doing this for so many years. I've created a system to help people, like here's storyboard it out, have your content, set up your one day you do your video instead of every day, you upload it into your page and it automatically sends it out for you. If you have a system and you're not spending a lot of time, then you have ability with high professional content to be seen, and people will see you because the other stuff is going, they're not going to want to see the home movies anymore. They want the high quality stuff. Okay, so just to those, if you just want to start off,